Hello, fans. Hello, fans. Okay, I'm getting it together. ASMR. Okay, what's going on here? Good morning. Nothing to drink, no coffee, no water. Slept late because it's still spring break. I want you to know what's really going on here. For those of you who think I got my shit together, I mostly do. But I got a pile here of unopened mail from probably the last month. Probably bills to be paid. Maybe some past due. Hopefully not. I'll fight them. I am woman. Hear me roar. I will fight them. And yeah. Almost done with the second week of spring break. It's a little long, especially when you have nowhere to go. I have a laundry basket that's overflowing. No more underwear. Anybody else? Can anyone relate? Am I the only one? Am I the only one? Oh, I think I gave myself a thumbs up on the screen. That's awesome. Okay. Well, let's start. I was awoken this morning by such a great text. Do I have too much stuff going on? From a client saying, I am on my way. I'm traveling. I'm about to get on a plane to go meet what we hope will be our baby. We matched. And what should we write in a letter to the mama? The mama, tradition. That should, yeah, I have a whole like TV show playing in my mind now where that just cut to another scene and then it comes back to me. So we have our clients, or we suggest that it's a really nice thing to do to write a letter to the birth mom as you are sitting in all of your feels. And it's not to be given to her until after she signs, but just about what this moment means to you, how you're feeling about her, how you're feeling about becoming a mom to her baby, the weight of that, what your promises are to her in your family, and what your promises are to your baby. And so she was asking me about that. And I just said, it just needs to come from the heart. It needs to be vulnerable. Just write to her what you are feeling in this moment, because it's a big moment for everybody involved, for all three sides. It's a big moment. So write about what the weight of that means to you. So there's that. Had my photo shoot last week and it went really well. In fact, maybe I will give you a sneak peek for those of you who are on here. Hold on, please. And this is unedited. I'm literally gonna, let me see if I can do this. Hold on. I'm gonna turn. Okay. Hold on. Okay. I'm just sharing a couple. Hold on. Yeah. This is one of my favorites. But it was fun. It was really fun. I did some with my son too. Anyways, that's it. I'm not going to stop sharing now. Okay, back to me. But it was a lot of fun. And it was with the new photographer that I've never worked with, that I literally just went online, found a photographer, and liked her website and said, okay, this is the one. Trying to make things easy. My son is going to be having his bar mitzvah, and in September, going to become a bar mitzvah. And that's a whole family thing. And so we're in the midst of planning for that. And yesterday we went to a Mexican restaurant, to a guy who's the owner of the restaurant is going to cater the whole thing. So it's going to be a Mexican fiesta meets baseball to kind of represent all of who he is. And I'm really excited because my hope is his entire birth family and siblings will be coming in. So that will be really, really special. And I just want to talk about that a little bit. I was on an event that On Your Feet Foundation sponsored. They are a wonderful organization in Evanston, Illinois, where I used to live, and they support birth moms in, I don't know if it's just post-adoption or anywhere they are in their journey, probably anywhere they are. But they had Gretchen Sasan speak. She is an author, a researcher, and she just released her book, I think just, Relinquished, which probably some in the adoption world, agencies, and I have not read it yet. I will. I'm sure some agencies are up in arms about it. In fact, I heard one agency director say something about how not good it is. I'm not sure. I'd love to dig in with her about that. But Gretchen interviewed 8,000 birth moms about their experience having relinquished their babies. I think it was between 2010 and 2020. I think she interviewed in 2010 and then 10 years later interviewed again to see what their feelings were. And they were pretty much all struggling. Very, very few were not. And many of these birth moms struggled because they saw their children. One of the things she said is that one of the struggles was that they saw their children struggling with their identity. Another one was that they are struggling to see how the parents that they chose are raising their child. That may be very different from what their hope and dream was for them. And some of their thoughts were, and I thought this was really profound, is what is the point of my grief and separation from my child if I'm watching my child struggle too? That's really, just think about that. And one of the problems was that the openness that they thought that they were going to have didn't happen or wasn't followed through with. And so as I am, and openness takes time, I think, on all ends, right? It's a relationship and you are building this relationship. And I think when I started, I had some fears and I knew how important it was to my child, for the birth mom, for me too. That wasn't as important to me as what I was doing for my child. And in turn, it became, what am I doing for my family, for me, for them who are an extension of my family, which I very much feel right now. Now, I also understand that every person is different, every situation is different. So it's hard to say when you don't know what you are stepping into. I have a beautiful relationship with our whole extended family, meaning my son's biological family, his first family. That took time. It took effort. It took losing each other for a while and finding each other again, which also helped in the growth of the openness. It actually made I think both of our hearts burst a little bit more when we found each other again and how happy we were for that. And after that, we've never left each other and it's only grown. We had our first visit. Now, visits weren't a thing that was asked of as much as it is now. Oftentimes we see right from the bat that yearly visits are requested. And I have different feelings about that too, about yearly visits right from the get-go when you don't know each other and as you're building the relationship, depending on the relationship. Again, I think every situation is so different. And I can understand where a hopeful family is coming from when they're nervous to promise that from day one when they have no idea who this other person is and the other person doesn't know who they are yet. They have no relationship built. I think that it needs to start with an intent, and there needs to be some boundaries and parameters around that, perhaps. I don't know. I need to flush that piece of it out a little bit more. And hi, Linda, I see you joining us. And Linda and I are going to be recording for my podcast today and talking all about open adoption and digging in today. And I'm excited to hear your views on that. I actually haven't really thought about that until now. When I speak, I don't know what's going to pop into my brain, but open adoption on so many levels. And in all the meanings of what open adoption looks like, I think is so important. I mean, it's been proven how important it is for everybody involved, but especially for the child, and you have to have your child in mind. And it's that beginning piece before that relationship is built. So our relationship built, we have done visits with both sides of families. It's not always easy. It's far, it's expensive. We talk all the time. We do FaceTimes. We say, I love you. We call each other mom, dad, sister, brother. Did that happen on day one? No, it didn't. Did visits happen on day one? No, it didn't. And again, that wasn't a thing when I adopted. But we grew into that organically and beautifully, and our relationship has grown as relationships do. And I think that's so important. So anyways, back to why I even brought this up is that I'm really looking forward to my son's bar mitzvah in September, where our entire family will come together in this beautiful moment. And they've never seen a bar mitzvah or really know what it is. And I'm excited to bring them into that fold. So there's that. Let's see. What else did she say? We're talking about Gretchen Sassan's Relinquished book. I heard her talk yesterday in an event with On Your Feet Foundation, and they're hosting another one in April. I highly recommend going to hear her. Let's see here. She talked about how adoptees often have complicated feelings around adoption. Oh, this was interesting. She talked about a specific woman that she mentions in her book. She calls her Alyssa. Alyssa is Latina. She was adopted by a white family and then, in turn, placed her child for adoption. Okay. And I guess there is a very large percentage. So she said 0.5% of all births are relinquished. 0.5%. I thought there was a percentage that she mentioned about how many of those were adoptees, but she said there were a high percentage of adoptees who relinquish. Anyways, so Alyssa is Latina. She was raised by white parents. She really didn't know what it meant to be Hispanic. And when she went to place her baby, she knew she didn't want her baby placed with a white family. She placed her not with a Hispanic family, with an Asian family, I think it was. And she thought to herself, I would love my child to know about her Latin roots, but I don't even know what that looks like. So all I know is I don't want her raised by white family. But anyways, I thought it was interesting because she herself would have liked that, didn't get that for herself, and didn't even know what that would look like for her child. And so really just struggled around that whole identity piece of, I was raised in a good family. I really missed this piece of myself. I wish I didn't feel so much like I wanted to look like my family did because I felt so out of place because she didn't have white skin like her family. And I know I don't want that for my child, but I don't know what it would look like for my child to be placed in a family of her heritage. So there was complicated identity twofold. Anyways, hopefully you can get the point. She also said that abortion patients, like women who go to get an abortion, have very little interest in adoption. If they don't abort, most parent. So that has been a question with this whole reversal of Roe v. Wade. Will that spike the adoption rate? And in some places in the country, they have seen a little growth, but maybe this answers that question, that no, because people going for an abortion are not interested in adoption. They're either going to abort, or if they can't abort, they'll figure out how to parent. And 98% of women who abort don't have regrets about it. But every single woman, beside a very few out of the 8,000 that she talked to, regretted placing. That's hard to hear. That's hard to hear. The mothers who regretted not being able to get an abortion are the ones who relinquished. It was hard to hear. There were very, very hard truths about adoption that as a parent, it's like, okay, what can we do better? And for me, I think one of the things we can do better, and for me and for agencies who are facilitating matches, is to really make sure it's the right match for the child. And not just the parent, and not just having a birth mom choose a family, but really talking to her about, okay, why are you choosing this family? Is this the right family for your child? She did say good intentions have always been at the root of adoptions, which I believe. There are some good players and some not so good players out there, and most everybody have really good intentions around their work. Anyways, I highly recommend getting this book, going to hear her speak. Let me say her name right. Gretchen Sisson, who wrote the book Relinquished. So those are my thoughts. And that's what I'm going to leave you with. I'm going to go prepare for recording the next episode of my podcast, which has not aired yet, but I think you're going to find really interesting. I'm trying to ask questions that are completely off the beaten path, that maybe take a spin on things that other people haven't thought about. And I'm also trying to dig into pieces of this journey that aren't being widely spoken about. So stay tuned. If you have any ideas, please let me know. And if you'd like to be featured on my podcast, let me know why. Reach out to me. You know how. You can figure that out. I'd love to hear from you. Happy Thursday. Happy weekend. Happy spring. Is it spring yet officially? I think it might be. Bye.